And we're live.
We are live.
Hey Dan.
Hey.
It's our first live experience video.
First live experience video.
This is Nate. Hopefully this works out. We don't know
Yeah.
how well it'll work out.
So Drew, do you remember the name of the villain in the movie?
Ooh. Oh, I got this.
I think
What's this?
this is the villain in the movie.
Oh, okay. Unmemorable?
It's Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf. That's what it is. I thought it was Hades or Darkseid
That's
or.
the joke. The joke is it's Steppenwolf.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cancer.
Well-
Okay.
Dan, what did you like about Justice League?
I actually don't know, but my brain's like, it's not the worst thing I've seen so far, so that's a start.
That's an advantage, I suppose.
That's an advantage, yes.
And
I'm trying to think.
a lot of people
I like
were
Gal
calling-
Gadot.
Yeah.
I like Wonder Woman.
It's the one thing that DCEU has going for it.
Why is it extended?
Because
Anyway.
technically it'd be DCCU. Because you wouldn't say DCU, even though that rolls off the tongue.
This is
But
true.
are there other things you liked?
I do like Jason Momoa as... I do like him
You like
as
Aquaman. Okay.
I just... So far, like, I've only read a few things of Aquaman comics, and I'm just like, hey, these are good, but at the same time, I was like, what's his personality like, though? And then it just...
They don't dive deep.
Then... God...
Unintentional pun.
No.
Uh-oh. He's out. Well,
Hello.
so I guess the rest of the review will be conducted by Nick and me. Dan is currently losing his freaking mind.
You should hit lock.
That was a bad joke.
Lock the doors.
Yeah, I'm gonna lock the doors. Which button is it? Oh, he got in. Sorry, that was bad. That was bad. I remember one scene in particular you liking with Aquaman, where he accidentally holds onto the.
Oh yeah. He's saying all this stuff, and he eventually starts digging deep, and Batman just kind of points, and he just pulls up the lasso of truth. I was like, okay, good joke, movie. That's hilarious.
That must have been Joss's scene.
That had yes.
Your auxiliary cable's on the ground out there. Just like
That's
it.
okay. That's okay because we don't like the headphone jack.
No, we don't.
I do when the car doesn't.
No, dear, no.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It has Bluetooth audio. What do you?
so are there other? I'm trying to highlight the things it got right first.
J.K. Simmons as Gordon is always good, even if he's only in it for like 2 minutes.
He was literally in the movie as long as Lex Luthor was.
Yeah.
Which we shouldn't mention.
Let's just highlight some of the bad. Because
Okay, we're moving into the bad now. Are we? Go
Because-
ahead, Dan.
Yeah. Okay.
Take it away.
It does. It pulls Marvel stuff, which it should not pull Marvel stuff.
They've decided to stop doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And start doing everything Marvel does, but
Worse.
they don't have a pyramid of history to stack that on.
Yeah.
Like Marvel has this deep, rich history
like,
of characters and films.
And on paper, there's a lot of the stuff in this movie that I'm like, I'm interested in, but it kind of crams it in. Like,
Stuffed. That's
What-
how I have to define this movie.
Wasn't this supposed to be a two-parter?
Was it?
I think it was. I almost wish it was a two-parter.
I think that would have helped. No. What would have helped is if we got solo films before.
That too.
That's what would have.
'Cause, like,
Once
it
again,
just-
that's what the last movie needed. That's what this one needed.
It just whips out. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It just whips out. Oh, by the way, there's Atlanteans. What?
Yes. By the way, there's Atlanteans. By the way, J.K. Simmons is James Gordon. By the way, Cyborg is the thing, and he's learning robots. I remember you getting especially angry at a certain scene where Cyborg
Oh yeah, where Cyborg just all of
opens
a
his
sudden-
hands,
Yeah, opens his hands. He's able to hack into the Batcave. I'm like, no.
and he instantly knows who Batman is.
Yeah, no, that's
Because-
not how that works, movie. That's not how that works at all.
Did you? I don't think the length of the movie would have helped personally.
It really wouldn't,
Casey.
Casey. I mean, in a way, it might have if they knew how to pace it out properly. Which I don't want to dock points for pacing because there was a lot of weird stuff behind the scenes.
The problem was you had so many things you had to include that there was no way to pace this slowly. There was no way to get. I think. Yeah. Barry and his dad had literally 2 scenes in the movie.
They did literally have 2 scenes in the movie.
And each scene was,
which by the way,
a minute.
I think Ezra Miller tried, but Grant Gustin is the better Flash.
I don't know what that is, but
the Flash, CW Flash. Ezra Miller is this Flash.
Oh well, that CW Flash has. Yeah, freaking 4 seasons to develop his character. Of course, he's better. This one had approximately 5 minutes. Yeah. No, less. There were less than 5. This movie started about 18 plots.
Let me make your analyst tired.
Thank you. You can trade off.
Hey, there's Nick.
Don't cut them off. There you go. The movie started with about 18 subplots that we keep cutting to. Back to Wonder Woman. Back to.
No, Cyborg. Casey, they should just leave these separate. They need to leave the good things alone.
What did you think of... well, it says spoilers in the title.
Yeah.
But because the grand spoiler, did you not know this was coming? Here it comes. The big spoiler, Superman comes back! What? He's not dead, everyone. Did you even realize that would happen? Who thought that would happen? Okay, so
wow!
How'd you feel about the return of Superman?
I'm not against it, but I'm kind of glad they didn't do it like, oh my god. It's just like, okay, we're gonna bring him back, and it's like, okay.
I think it was about 80 minutes into the film.
Probably.
I literally checked my watch.
Probably.
When Henry Cavill came out of the... I started laughing. Uncontrollably, because
I remember that, yeah.
Instantly Superman has no idea who he is, so instantly decides, oh, I'm gonna kill everyone I see.
Fight.
Which is
I'm not against, like, my big problem with it is that
the way they don't decompose either.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so Kryptonians have a weird decomposition rate. That's good to know.
Because he looked perfectly fine.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so he's just sleeping, guys. But like, there's this point where Batman tells Alfred, hey, bring in the big gun. And the big gun is Lois Lane. Wait, haha, Superman is back with this mustache.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Go on.
You mentioned that.
I'll bring that up in a second.
Yeah. Anyway, but anyway, Lois Lane comes and it's just, oh hey, all of a sudden, boom, I'm back. I'm all back up here. And it's like, no, let's take some time on that. You literally just broke the bounds of reality and stuff, and you woke up from death.
And he almost kills Batman. Yeah, this line bothers me when he picks up Batman and goes, do you bleed? Superman says that to Batman, and it's like,
you know he does.
He's a man. It makes sense when Batman's saying it to Superman, because it's like, are you a god that bleeds?
Yeah.
For Superman to say it to... That doesn't... It just, he also said it with this weird voice. And it doesn't...
Talos and Music sent us a little...
You don't have to read every message.
I like it, though.
It's the Goblin.
Goblin.
Don't like it. Well, so first of all, on an off-topic note, what Casey was bringing up, or someone was bringing up.
Yes.
Superman, Henry Cavill, is in the next Mission Impossible movie.
Yes.
A lot of people don't actually know that. The reason they know that now is because he was contractually required to keep his mustache, which meant that when Joss Whedon went and refilmed basically the entire movie, I'm assuming that Zack Snyder's version was about 3 hours, and then Joss Whedon came in, reshot half of it, and then cut out the Snyder half.
Yep.
Made it a flat 2 hours, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
I don't need a 3-hour movie if...
At least we have 1 out of 5 movies that I can watch more than once and not hate myself for.
They had to.
I don't hate this movie.
They had to animate out his mustache.
They had the
and it cost hundreds of thousands.
It'd be hilarious if he came back from the grave with just.
We want to see Superman with a mustache. That would have been great.
That would have been hilarious.
I would have been very okay with that.
Nick, you've been kind of quiet. What do you have to say in this?
I'm always kind of quiet when we live stream.
Fair enough. I don't know these things.
It was a good movie. It was actually...
Get out.
He complained about... You complained about this movie.
Do you think two people directing...
So many holes.
What do you mean holes?
Like, just I don't know, things happened way too fast.
Yeah,
Or,
I think anyone could agree that
like,
this movie's
certain parts
pacing
were
was
drawn out
Which
way too long.
I
like
think we have.
fighting,
I think we
but
have to
other
give the
parts,
pacing.
Like character development,
Yeah,
tiny. So
I
the
feel like
action scenes were pretty extensive, I'd say.
yeah, it's like, and we're still fighting.
I also
Oh, wait,
thought
no.
the opening credits. You even looked at me.
Oh yeah, it's
So
like
you were like, "Get to the movie, please."
Yeah.
They were literally showing slow motion footage. I could tell Snyder directed it.
Mhm,
He
of
was
all-
filming slow motion footage of a random crook getting arrested, like
yeah,
literally kicking over a box of
Like,
oranges
yes.
in slow motion.
we get it. There's
These characters
bad
have
things.
nothing to do with the movie, and
It's just random chaos happening. It's like, okay, let's move on.
and
Move on, movie.
I also thought what really bothered me was, yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Ben Affleck's very, very 180-degree difference of opinion on Superman in this one compared to the last one.
Yeah,
Again, I understand that happened at the climax in Dawn of Justice, but it's so weird that in this one he's like, we need Superman. We
Yeah.
looked up to him, we needed him. And in the last movie, you were like,
It's like,
we need to kill him.
First he's
chance."
angry Batman. He's happy Batman.
There's literally a scene
There's
when Superman shows up in this one, and Batman in his suit of armor looks up and goes, like a big old
Yeah.
smile on his face. It looks
Yeah.
so funny.
I kind of got
Ugh.
annoyed. Like, I think this is just Whedon doing Whedon. I'm not sure if it was Snyder, but
Yeah.
it could have been. Batman, is the
Batman
real.
is the real
Yes, Scott. But anyway, there's a point where Batman's like getting up off the ground after being just manhandled by Superman around the throat. And he's like, "Okay, yep, I'm bleeding."
Right.
I'm
He's
like,
I very much am bleeding. It's like they're parodying their own dialogue.
Yeah.
It's like Snyder wrote the "Do you bleed?" and then Joss wrote the "Yep, definitely bleeding." Like that was Joss's underlining.
pretty
thing.
much, yeah. It's like, guys, is this how we're gonna do?
Similar to Suicide Squad, I was unintentionally laughing throughout a lot of this movie
Yeah.
because of
He was.
I just thought Superman being zombie-like was hilarious. That
I
they
mean,
finally brought him
I'm-
back to life and they didn't bring kryptonite or anything.
I mean, you can safely say they brought the Jesus metaphor for full circle.
yeah, he came back to life, I
Yeah.
guess.
It was more than 3 days, but hey, they got there eventually.
I thought the check mark of they don't save people in the DC movies. I thought it was too obvious.
Yeah.
Literally, there's a scene where Superman goes, "The civilians." Not joking. Literally, he stops for a second when he's
Yeah.
talking to Batman. He's like, "We need to kill this demon from. We need to Steppenwolf." Yeah, the devil of the underworld, Stephen. Stephen.
Step in.
It's kind of like Voldemort's name being Tom. Most evil wizard of all time, Tom.
It's P's, not F's. Step in as you're
Step in.
stepping away from the theater with some disgust.
See, now I get out of the car. No.
We all walk home.
But he's like, we need to kill this bad guy. And Superman goes, the civilians.
Yeah.
There's too many. And they only show you 4. Those are the civilians.
Suddenly.
And then Superman carries away an entire building.
Yep.
And we're
Like,
supposed
so
to
did
believe
they-
that people are in there.
Yeah, I'm like, no. They ran, dude.
Again, what is it with superhero movies having to save Russian cities? That's happened twice now.
Honestly, that's probably not very far off since the Cold War.
Oh no. All these
Your country sucks, Russia.
Age of Ultron, they had to save the Russian city.
They had to save the fake Russian city, whatever the hell Sokovia is supposed to be.
Sokovia, and then they had to, and then in this one they had to save some city, and
Small.
Here.
I thought,
Trade.
Yep, trade. I'm fine with
Trading.
holding it. I thought it was incredibly tacked on. I thought it was like a, see, we do save people.
Yeah.
Are there any other thoughts you have? Any? Can we talk about the end credits scene, which this one has one?
Please don't. Don't do that again, DC. That was painful, honestly.
I
It
can-
started off kind of hopeful once I was like,
We thought it was
hey.
Deadpool.
no, they honestly said Deadpool, and I was like, wait, no, that's Deathstroke. Oh, jeez.
Same thing.
Then it showed him, and I was like, oh.
We need to make our own league.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Uh,
Can we-
let's address that. So, guys, This film does have... Stop. This film does have an end credit scene.
Yeah.
But don't watch it because it's bad. Like, leave the theater.
Like, I was going into this... After the main credits started, I was kind of like, all right, I'll give it like a solid C, not a C+, not a C-.
You were very hopeful.
No. This end credit scene made me knock it down a peg to a C-. Because I was like, no, you ruined what you had.
Yeah, it was bad. I was worried about that kind of scene happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Batman's going off to meet all the heroes, I was like, we need to form a league of sorts. And then they didn't do that. And I was like, okay, the movie's over, whatever. Yeah. And then we get to the end credits. And they cut to, you say, Deathstroke, which apparently is a villain people know about.
Yep.
And
Slade Wilson
goes on to
if you watched Arrow.
That's why I don't know. I avoid that intentionally.
Yeah.
Nick has seen Arrow.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Good input.
He's involved.
I'm like 7 or 8 or 9 episodes in.
So you're an expert, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just like Rick and Morty. I have an IQ 200 plus.
The Deathstroke goes up to Lex Luthor.
Justice League, yes.
Yes.
Yes,
This is why you don't have to read every message. He goes up to him, and Lex Luthor's like, we have to level the playing field. It looks like they're forming a league of sorts.
Yeah, no, actually, hold on.
And he literally pauses.
It was that kind of a close-up, too.
No, literally. Like, it was shot. It was shot on the iPhone 10, too.
Yeah.
Like, they were on a boat, and then literally Lex Luthor pauses. Just, they're forming a... And then he turns his head and looks at the camera for 15 seconds, like, just...
Stop doing that, Nick. That's too funny.
Well, this way you get views.
A league. What kind of league, though? And not once.
Not a Justice League.
He said the word, what kind of league are they? Which, by the way, is not something you say casually.
Please, no gang signs.
No one says, like, hey, to quote the first Marvel movie, Mr. Tony Stark, they literally, some people online were... He literally said league, like, obviously twice in the end credits, in the span of 30 seconds. And then I was like, Dan, you have to dock points for that scene.
And I was like, yeah, I do.
This is... I was so worried they wouldn't do that.
Why are you taking pictures of
I was so worried they would do that. Luckily, they... Not luckily. Unluckily, they did.
Yeah.
A lot of people online were saying that this one was better than Dawn of Justice.
I would say that.
Could you say that?
I would.
So you'd say it's not a Wonder Woman, but above a Suicide Squad and above a Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, no. Wonder Woman reigns supreme so far.
So far, I think they're in completely different categories.
Yeah. Because one's good and everything else is
well,
just
one has like a protagonist.
Okay. Wonder Woman and Man of Steel.
Yeah, I like Man of Steel, but I kind of don't like it anymore because of what they've done to the character all this time. So, like, what they've done to... No, I don't need it. We're good.
Okay.
Portless. We don't need the...
that's right.
Well, 20% it's a long time. I don't like where the Superman character has gone, so it's not like they can really follow that up. Whereas Wonder Woman, we can do World War II, we can do Vietnam, we can do South Korea.
Yeah.
Like, that franchise can just keep going. But, are they gonna... There was a very blatant Green Lantern Easter egg. What did you think of that?
I was like, okay, I know that the Green Lantern movie that Ryan Reynolds did got a lot of crap, and probably should have. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, you just waved a much more interesting thing in front of my face that I could follow.
Right. They pitched well, Green Lantern, by the way, also makes for great butt-end jokes in Deadpool. So it serves a purpose.
Yes.
Wonder Woman is great, but again, every character in this movie is only in the movie for 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Batman and Wonder Woman definitely have the most screen time.
Yeah.
But Wonder Woman doesn't have an arc. She doesn't have a learning curve. She doesn't even have a love interest. There's mild flirtation. There's even a scene where the Flash is on top of her.
Briefly.
And then quickly flashes off of her.
Which is a sentence.
Yeah.
I. What'd you think of the Flash's character? I know you didn't prefer the performances, but I wouldn't say that any performance in this movie was very well handled.
I think if you're just looking at it as this is definitely Joss Whedon just writing how he would react in a situation, I could deal with that. Like that whole scene where he's just, you know, Bruce is in his lair or whatever the hell, and he's saying like, this is a such and such and such and such suit. It's like, I do ice skating. This is the stuff they put on rockets upon re-entry. I do really intensive ice skating. I was like, okay.
That's a Joss line.
That's a Joss line.
Yes.
That is very much a Joss line.
I thought the Joss input was very noticeable.
Yeah.
I could tell that this was a... I think this is a good way to put it. This is a Zack Snyder plot with a Joss Whedon screenplay.
There you go.
By quite literally, like it tells you in that opening credits. It was like story by Snyder, screenplay by Whedon.
Yep.
And I think that's heavily noticeable.
Yeah.
I look at this film as a... it's different than Dawn of Justice.
Yeah.
I have a hard time saying it's better because I think it's
like
full of holes you can drive a truck through, plot holes that don't make sense.
It's like an apple and orange comparison for the two movies, really.
If you're allergic to fruit.
Yeah.
Like, the Justice League is very uplifting. It's a much lighter tone. It's much happier. So if you enjoy light humor and a bit more positive approach to movies, then it's better.
There's still, I think, something to admire in it.
In terms of storytelling...
Yeah, in terms of storytelling, no.
No arcs, no really character in depth. We don't really get to learn about the characters. You're just supposed to gloss over every single detail of this movie. You have to not think about.
Like, I feel like... Okay, let's see if I can describe this without sounding like an insane maniac. But if...
Go ahead.
I think I remember saying this at one point in one of our earlier podcasts, but it's like the foundations of the DCEU are completely shattered and messed up.
Yes.
And as it's looking in my mind's eye, what we're looking at when we look at like Man of Steel, or more noticeably Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
If it was like a literal house and whatnot, and a plot of land that we're looking at, it's like the only good things that are built properly are like the shed and a garage, and the rest of the house,
like the extra parts,
and the rest of the house is like an MC Escher minefield. It's like it leads off into other turfs and territories every time, and it never settles on one staircase.
Yes.
So it's like, how the hell do I get to the bathroom, guys?
Yeah, I agree with that, and the thing is, your foundation is very important.
Yeah.
Like, you need that to create a good universe and a good franchise, and I think... by the way, it's like dead here. Like, it was not a full theater. There was not excitement. No one was cheering. There was a lot of people laughing.
Hey, are you all excited for Justice League? Nothing.
Yep, and it was a very dead first opening. We went to the first possible showing you could go to.
Yeah, 6 o'clock on a Thursday.
Not much excitement. There were a lot of people laughing at moments that weren't funny, similar to Suicide Squad, and that's why I think I go to these movies, is because it's funny to laugh at them. Whereas Marvel's, you laugh with them.
Hey, at least you didn't spend the money on the ticket.
Yes, thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
We appreciate that.
I jump on that.
We were prepared to pay for ourselves.
And I was like, no, I'm dragging you to this. I need to own up.
I scraped black paint off of his AirPods for like 5 hours today, so he could take me to the movies.
Guys, the AirPods are back to being white again. We scraped all the black paint off. But anyway, one thing I wanted to bring up, if we hadn't mentioned it yet, Superman, like, very quickly goes back to being completely normal and remembers everything.
So fast.
And that, by far, is the biggest plot hole, I think. That he's like, evil 1 second, then he sees Lois, and then literally 2 minutes go by, and he's like, okay, I know everything.
If there was like a 30-second montage of him just like...
relearning?
Struggling with himself.
Wouldn't a great scene would have been Lois teaching him about himself?
Yeah, right.
And him remembering. Also, I kept thinking about in this movie how Bruce Wayne in Dawn of Justice was like asleep, and then the Flash appeared and said, Lois is the key to all of this.
I was talking about that too.
You were right about Superman. Am I too soon? And then he leaves. And I was like, are they going to ever address that ever?
Yeah. I was like...
Or is that completely out the window at this point?
I don't know.
Are they just like, that was a dream? Because, if anything, Bruce Wayne is very wrong about Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And admits it several times. So I have to give this movie a low grade. There's some unintentionally funny moments.
I was honest to God, C solid if it left out that asinine credit scene.
The end credit scene is pretty bad.
It is,
and it doesn't
so bad.
It doesn't fare well for future movies.
It
personally, this doesn't set up a universe to be any brighter. I would still look forward to a sequel to Wonder Woman as long as it takes place in the past.
Like, you have a really freaking awesome garage.
Sure.
And the kitchen is pristine.
Again, with the house metaphors.
I want to make it clear, the kitchen is Superman.
Yeah,
I don't want to. I'm assuming someone will get annoyed with that.
Well, if the Flash was from the future, why did Batman wake up from it in Dawn of Justice?
Yeah, it's weird.
It wasn't like he just appeared. He like woke up like it was a dream.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's confusing. Because the Flash can go back in time, but he can't appear in your dreams.
And I want to know more about like what's going on with Cyborg. So he's like ever changing and whatnot. So like there's this one point where Steppenwolf just straight up drives an axe into his shoulder, then kind of tears off a leg.
Yeah. He ripped his leg off.
And then he like starts getting put back together. I'm like, so you have a healing mechanism.
Yeah, Cyborg's powers I'm not a fan of, especially as a techie person. It completely degrades. It's like science-y technology. If I just plug into this, I can do anything. It's very broad. Do you know much about Cyborg?
I know that...
Because he seems to just do whatever. He can do whatever he wants with computers, as long as what you're using is a computer.
Limitations to him, but I can't remember what they are.
He's DC's Iron Man.
No.
He's Windows XP. He can do anything.
Like, I remember there's this one bit in Teen Titans where, like, Cyborg literally can't exert too much force because his circuits will not physically let him until he overpowers them. And I'm just like... Okay, so we're going to get some explanation about some of this?
I'd hope so. Well, the ultimate question is saying, is it better than Dawn of Justice? And I think Dan would say yes.
I would. But like, if I watched Dawn of Justice again, I might honestly consider losing a knuckle, like Yakuza style, to remind me, don't watch this again. But if I watched this again, I'd be like, it's not the worst thing in the world. I've seen movies that have made me, honest to God, want to step on a nail. So, it's safe to say...
Reference last review. Which Nick was in.
Yes.
Involvement.
And a shotgun.
Oh, yeah, you almost broke my
Yeah, you did some good shooting.
I did the good shooting, yeah.
Damn it.
So, I could say that in a tonal sense, it's a little bit better because it's more uplifting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of jokes. They're not good jokes.
But they're jokes. So it's like, okay.
They're jokes nonetheless. Maybe if you have a poor sense of humor, this movie's really funny to you.
Or as in, like, really dumb things.
Yeah, like you laugh at literally anything. If you laugh at people, like, all the time, this movie's funny.
No.
The DCU needs Superman hope symbol. Oh yeah, that's something I wanted to bring up because I hate it. The very beginning of the movie, and I felt like it was a rip off of Spider-Man, was little kids vlogging in portrait mode, and they go up to Superman and say, "What's your favorite thing about Earth?" And he goes, and he thinks for a second, and then he looks up, and then it cuts. And I thought, oh, this could be interesting. Maybe later in the movie he'll tell us what his favorite thing about Earth is. Never addressed again. So I guess we're left to believe that Superman hates Earth. What's your favorite thing about Earth? Slowly flies away, staring at the camera. I don't like it here. All of you either worship me or try to kill me. So I can't. The plot holes are just as bad. Yeah. There's a bunch of things that don't make sense. Also, the criminal that Batman is after in the very beginning of the movie, and he uses to attract. Goodness.
Yeah, up yours.
Well, we're not driving. Dan, I don't think it's us.
Well, still. We're doing a vlog.
He catches the bad guy and uses him to attract the fear
beep beep. Yeah.
The fear like insects, you know?
Yeah.
He lets him go. He didn't turn in the bad guy. It bothered me. I was like,
kind of hoping he would just jump off and he'd be like,
also, that criminal was the co-star in Mindhunter. Not very good show, but I watched the whole thing. Just minor cameo, and he didn't catch him. I was like, where's the movie where Batman catches bad guys? I missed that. I liked that about the Nolan trilogy. It was about Batman fighting the bad guy, not about Batman getting his butt handed to him by God and saying, "Ouch, my knee is bleeding."
I'm gonna write every movie I can and send it to Justice League.
Oh, Dan, you of what you've written of your DC movies,
Batman movie.
They're wonderful. They're wonderful. I love your plots infinitely better than what they did.
That's not saying much, but I appreciate it.
So I'm gonna give this movie a D-.
C-.
Okay.
Nick, you want to weigh in on this?
What'd you give it?
I'd give it a mediocre.
Perfect.
Give that an M.
All right. Well.
All right. Thanks you guys for watching. This, of course, will be available. No, this.
It's dead. Let it die.
The DCEU is just kind of a dumpster fire that's fun to watch. Like, I'm probably gonna watch the next one because it's funny, and I laughed a lot more in this movie than Thor. But Thor was trying to be funny, so that's a little different.
Yeah.
And I really am excited for the half in the bag on this movie.
Oh, God.
Because I'm sure Mike and Jay are going to rip it apart.
Can you say field day much?
Should you watch it?
I mean,
Yeah.
if you
Just don't expect it to be.
Okay.
Don't expect it to be good.
If you're a fan of the Justice League and like to the point of you will honest to God jump on a sword if you need to defend something, then you'll probably enjoy this. Not a lot, but you'll enjoy it a little bit. And
I think it's fun to laugh at.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a bad good movie.
There you go.
I laughed a lot. It's easy to make fun of, and I like making fun of movies too. So
Yes.
there's your recommendation.
There you go.
Recommendation is don't go into it expecting a good movie.
Yeah.
Be with friends. Don't watch it by yourself. Just dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire. Pretty much.
It's the Pixel 2 of movies. Anyway, hope you guys have an excellent one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.